Hello and welcome to the Catchlift Coaches Corner. I'm CAL lead coach Melissa Luke, and this week I am honored to welcome retired U.S. Army veteran Matt Leyva to today's show. Matt is a CAL veteran athlete and adaptive fitness coach. Welcome to this week's episode of Coaches Corner. Matt, welcome. It's good to see you.
Yeah, I'm pumped to be here.
Heck yeah, well, we are pumped to have you. I know we got a lot to get through today, so why don't we start today, Matt, and talk about what drove you to join the military?
I'm a military brat. My grandfather, my father, they all did military, Army, Air Force, and it's just everywhere in my family was military. That's what pretty much gave me that extra oomph to join myself. But I wasn't gonna do no Air Force though. That's
Let's get that cleared up right away, right?
Yeah.
Did you join, Matt, with the intention to go to war? Was that kind of in your head that would be a part of it?
Oh, 100%. I joined 11 Bravo Infantry. I was definitely going to go to war, especially it was wartime. I was like, it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't my plan, but I mean, I knew what I signed up to do, and that's what I ended up doing. So I did what I had to do.
Can you talk to us about that tour, Matt? You know, where were you? What was the job? What was a typical day like for you?
I was in the South Province of Afghanistan. Good old Afghanistan, and it was. I mean, it was shitty. It was like you walk in a porta potty every day, pretty much. That's literally what it was. And I mean, like we were there just to go help them pretty much learn to farm, I guess. Even though in Afghanistan, that's what they're been doing for years and years and years. But that was our plan. But then it was just literally go on patrols every day, make sure no one's doing anything sketchy, and come back. It was the best time and worst time of my life. Just because worst time, just because you wake up and you just smell shit off the rip. That just sucked. I mean, it was one of the best experiences of my life. Even though I got jacked up, but
Matt, how long were you in Afghanistan before the injury?
I was there about 6 months, 5 or 6 months, yeah, and shit, I had a blast. Without the pun intended, but yeah, I had a blast. You know what I'm saying? It was like I said, I had fun with my brothers over there, and we were just we wake up, go on patrol, go to sleep. That's what we did, and turned into a routine that I enjoyed. But I mean, I got fucked up, so it sucks. I don't know if I can say that, but
we're good. We're good. Would you tell us about the day you were injured, Matt?
Oh, easy. August 9th, I got blown the hell up from my IED. It sucked. Literally, the IED was in a mud wall, and I was the lucky one to go over the mud wall. And I say lucky because none of my other teammates got hit by this IED. It was just me. And even that, I got hit with it, and I just lost just my feet at first, which was cool. But back to me saying Afghanistan is a walking porta potty, that infection is what's really got me. So now I'm above knee on both, and jacked up in the hands, But it is what it sucked when it first happened, but I mean, I was the lucky one to hit it. We were going on patrol, and to make sure the ordnance that were dropped actually blew up, and it wasn't even my wasn't even like my squad or team that rolled out. It was I was just picked by the other squad. I was like, hey, let's roll out. I was like, fuck it, I'm one of those guys. I'm always down to roll,
Oh yeah, and, totally.
But I didn't know that day was going to be the day that I hit the IED. And whole world of change coming my way. But
were you medevaced out of Afghanistan right away, or were you there right away?
I was right away. The bird came in. put me on the bird. They put me on there with one of my boots, which was, I wish I would have kept that, or I think they threw it away or some shit. But one of my boots, and hopefully they could stitch it back on or do some crazy science shit, but didn't work.
Didn't work. So could you talk to us a little bit, Matt, about, what were the early months and years like of your recovery? What did that look like for you?
It's shitty. There's no other way to explain it other than just shit. I woke up in a hospital in Texas, and as soon as I wake up, I thought I was still in Afghanistan, and my family's in Afghanistan. I was all doped up. I didn't know what was going on, and last I knew, I was in Afghanistan. So that's one awesome awakening that you're not even ready for.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Just months after that, it was them just trying to keep me in, living condition, because I was in ICU for months on months, and either, I was losing too much blood, they couldn't stop something, infections. I was just going downhill quick. But then, I don't know, about, I think 3 months into that shit, I started pulling out of it, and I started like being able to, to function again without being on a bunch of tubes, taking all those out. That was fun. And then it just medical rehab alone, not me doing physical activity, just them trying to keep me alive was the most like tedious shit ever. It's just, I'm one of those people that just get it fucking done. If I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go. But it was just constant going under the knife, into surgeries, and just it was rough. I was rough time in my life, and then after a year of just medical shit, they actually started giving me physical stuff. I was able to sit up. I was able to, like, my arm was completely shattered, my left one. I was in a cage, so I couldn't really move. My hips were shattered. I was in a cage for that. It was just,
oh my gosh.
It was a fight, man. But I mean, that's what makes the fighter. You know what I'm saying? The fight that he goes through. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was about my whole rehab, fitness, and everything was about 3 years in just Texas alone. But like me being functional again, it didn't happen until after pretty much Jason called me fat as fuck and Cal coming in my life. So that's when like I started putting shit in overdrive.
Yeah.
But that's a different story.
Oh, we'll definitely get there. But I want to ask you too, Matt. So, in those first couple years, and like you said, I mean, it was shitty, right? You're in this incredible fight, and you're proving that you're a fighter every day. During that time, who or what did you look to, I don't know if motivation is the right word, but just to keep you going, to get you to that next day for that next round, that next fight?
I would say like probably my sister and my dad. They were there from the get-go, and like they were the ones that, like, my dad took time off work. His work gave him time off to come see me in the hospital. It's like my sister would come here to go to Texas when she was still in school, like when she had her days off and shit like that. Like they helped me get through it, and more so I wanted to do it for myself, because I don't want to be a bitch. I was like, all right, yeah, I'm fucked up, but I was never the person just to give up.
Yeah.
So I was one of those. I just wanted to not prove myself to be a little punk, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I took some lumps. Like there was a time where I kind of gave up. That's where I got fat as hell, because I was like, oh, I'm not gonna be able to do nothing, and like the whole rehab was starting to get to me, but I mean, I pulled myself out of that hole. It just took me a little.
Like prior to joining the Army, Matt, was fitness a part of your life? Were you active in that way?
I was active, but nothing to where the level I am
Yeah.
now. You know, like I played like football. I worked out here and there. Like I love being outdoors and everything, but I was never as much into it as like diehard as I am now, or even before. Like the military is what really started me. Like when I was deployed, you would eat, work out, patrol, and
Yeah.
that was it, you know? So then it just grew on me there. And I slept on it during my whole rehab because I had different things, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, totally.
But I was never like how I am back before the military.
Yeah.
For sure.
So kind of jumping back now into this recovery process, at what point during it, did fitness come then on your radar, and did you start, to think about that or look into it?
So Jason Smith, the other coach, it wasn't really on my radar. Like I after rehab, like I did my rehab and I got just enough so where they would just let me release me back out into civilian world.
Yep.
And I was just on the level of living, and that was it. But now, like Jason pretty much snapped me out of it. He's like, "Hey, bro, you're getting fat as hell," and like, well, I've never had anybody like really say that, you know.
Yeah.
And after that, Catchlift came in, and then I just started diving, nubs first into this shit. You know what I'm saying?
So you start that fitness journey. What did that look like? I mean, how did you start? Like, what did you start doing?
Eating, because I was eating anything I saw. I'm a fat boy at heart. There ain't no way around that. I love sugar, sweets. It's just I'm a fat boy at heart. But what really started my fitness journey was me understanding macros and reading serving sizes and seeing what the hell's inside the shit we're eating, And before me actually sitting down and figuring out what those are, I never looked at those. Growing up, never looked at those. Like military gave you the meals that you ate, and that was up to I never really had to look at those for myself.
Yeah.
And once I did and started understanding, like, oh, I shouldn't be eating this fucking crazy amount of sugar, thing. I was like, yeah, I gotta stop that. So pretty much I cut out all sugars, like no sweets, and just kept pretty much clean eating. And then I started hitting the weights and getting the monster,
Heck yeah. So nutritionally, you make these changes, and you lost a lot of weight. It's freaking awesome. Can you tell us about the weight that you did lose?
This is back where I was just out there doing whatever I wanted. I was about 280 in a wheelchair with no legs. Like I literally have like an inch or two on both legs left. And that's just not healthy. I was just a fat boy rolling around pretty much. And it's just I had to cut all that. And then, I had to get a goal in my head to pretty much be a jacked torso in a wheelchair. You know what I'm saying? I tell you guys if I see you, I just want to be a jacked dude in a wheelchair. But I mean, I started fat as hell. Started fat without eating. It was just like eating habits too is another one that helped me lose weight. It's nutrition plays a huge part if you want to cut or gain. It's like nobody really understands that. They're like, oh, we'll just hit weights and it'll work. No, they play hand in hand, so it's different.
Yeah, you definitely. I mean, all of us coaches, I mean, we say it all the time. You can't outwork a bad diet. I know we've all tried it. It does not work.
Everyone's tried it. Everyone wants to give a roll. It'll be the one that.
Oh yeah. Yep.
It,
yeah, I can do it. I can out eat it.
Yeah. No, don't worry.
What would you say to people, listening? You lost, Matt, well over 100 pounds. What would you say to anybody listening that, has a lot of weight to lose and they don't know where to start? They feel like it's hopeless. What do you tell them?
It's a marathon, not a race. You can't. Everyone wants the overnight option. It's like I was fat as hell. I'll tell you that right now. And it took me almost 2-3 years to get down to a decent weight to build again. So it's a marathon, not a race. I mean, there's no overnight options. There really is. As long as you track the food you eat and don't understand portion sizes, it'll be that turns into pretty much another, like, you wake up and you understand it.
Yeah.
Like, it turns into a habit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone likes good tasting food. It's like, if it tastes delicious, somebody wants to eat it.
Yeah.
Right? But I'll tell you, like, the foods for you, they're not all the best taste. But it's just, you gotta stick to it. As long as you stick to it, anything can fucking happen.
Oh, totally. Matt, how would you say the fitness, what role has it played in your recovery, both physical and mental?
Oh, mental, big time. When I can work out, I'm a more happy human being. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I think, to our Cal listeners, it will.
Yeah, it's just when I can get that release, like, I can go in the morning, get all the shit out, and be able to function through the whole day.
Yeah.
That mental alone is what fitness can do for me, and I love it for that fact alone, because no one likes to roll around like a dick all day. You know what I'm saying? No one likes that. I mean, I like to be happy, make other people's happy and whatnot.
Yeah.
But it's just the mental tear that without fitness on me just fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Sucks. But But as far as, like, for Cal doing that for me, they gave me huge help in that. From either hooking it up with adaptive equipment, or meeting other veterans out there in the same boat as me. It's just definitely a huge part. Huge.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Have you taken anything, from your time in the Army as a soldier? Do you take anything from that yet and apply it to your fitness or your nutrition?
Yeah, just to hold me for accountability. It's pretty much it. It's all military standards are pretty much that. I'm never gonna wash those away. It's just they're fucking embedded in me pretty much. But the accountability part, where I hold it to myself and not somebody else holding it to me, that's what I put toward my fitness. Like, I'll make sure I wake up and knock shit out. That's like, I have to, before I deal with anything else in the day, I have to make sure that's squared away.
Yeah.
And that pretty much sets off the rest of my day. And I pulled that from, we wake up and just train every morning in the military. That's pretty much it. Just the accountability I pull from it.
Oh, totally. I definitely, same thing in my life. The accountability it leads, and kind of that anchor of the day. Nothing else is. Everything else kind of works around it. Matt, you're an incredible adaptive athlete. Talk to us about how you learned to adapt your fitness in and out of the gym.
Pretty much trial and error. You just gotta go in there and wing it as much as you can. It's like, I would sit there, look at someone who hit an exercise, and I'd figure out how I can do it. Pretty much. I mean, because I'm limited to what I can do, but I'm also going to push those limits as much as I can to make sure I can get the full effect of the exercise. So it's like, when people are doing like the deadlifts, you figure to do the seated deadlifts, or it's like, or people are like me with the pull-ups. I don't have the functional left arm, so I strap myself in and make sure I get a functional left arm. You know, it's just trial and error. Yeah, it's gonna suck, but I mean, you got to if you want it, you're gonna do it. You know.
Yeah. Oh, totally, totally. What would you say, Matt, to other adaptive athletes listening, who might feel intimidated by that gym environment or, getting in there and, starting to find those adaptions?
I was in the same boat. I mean, I didn't. To this day, I still don't like gym settings just because I feel like I'm on display and people just want to fucking look at me.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. But I also have the mindset that I'm gonna go in there and outlift half you fuckers. So it's I you just gotta look past it, man. I mean, yeah it's gonna suck. Yeah, people are gonna look at you as an adaptive athlete, but like just make that your fire to your the fuel of your fire. You know what I'm saying? Just go in there and show them up, give them something to look at. You know, pretty much like that's how I do it. It's like as someone who enjoys powerlifting, I'm gonna go up there and throw up a bunch of weight. Right? It's just what I do, and when I do it, people are like, "Holy shit!" That man with one arm's in there just doing this. It's like it's you just got to look past that feeling of like that intimidation. You know, this intimidate others. Don't let it intimidate you. You know.
I like that. Intimidate others. Yeah, I like that. So, Matt, you were one of the veteran coaches that Cal took to Camp Pendleton this past January to put on an adaptive workout for the Marines stationed there at Pendleton. Talk to us about that experience and what you guys did there.
It was fun. It was fun. It was fun to get back into like an actual military atmosphere where they got up and, trained all that shit. That was cool. It was cool to smoke the Marines too. I ain't gonna lie. Some of them didn't know what the fuck was going on when we were doing half these exercises, but hey, they still stuck it out and did it. It was a fun time. Like my station, I had to get back on the seat, everything, do the muscle out. It was fun. Like, cause nobody understands. No one thinks about it while you're in. Like, oh, I can get picked up. I didn't think I was come out with 6 fucking fingers and no legs. But. Yeah, I hope that like that kind of gave them a little perspective of what could come. Not hoping it does.
Right.
It's shit. It's a fucked up world we're in, and it's like it's anything can happen. So as long as they left there with that somewhat in the back of their mind, that like it could happen. That's more than enough for me. But it was. I ain't gonna lie, it was still fun as hell to smoke those Marines. It was
man, cool. I bet that was. What did you take away from that experience, Matt, being at Pendleton like that and getting to show these guys what adaptive fitness is and, like you said, like what is possible?
I took it was pretty cool to do it. For me, from my standpoint, to go in there and like show adaptive workouts to not adaptive athletes, and them actually like, oh shit, okay, let me actually, because I'm sure anybody's like, oh, adaptive athletes, like their workouts are like half-assed compared to ours.
Yeah.
It's just the common, common sense that most people have. But you actually go through how an adaptive athlete goes through it, I bet you think different. It's just, it's just as much fucking work. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we're adapting it, but we're adapting it so we can get just as much effect as you. You know what I'm saying? And like some of it, like the lifting yourself without your legs, like nobody thinks about doing that. And then when they're like, oh shit, we're using muscles that we don't even actually use.
Right.
It's like, oh, okay. Let me think about this. It was good to give somewhat of an eye opener,
Yeah. And I mean, I can definitely attest to that, before, I joined Catchlift and, had the great honor to, become friends and work out, with you, Matt, Sarah Rutter, Jason Smith, some of the other athletes. adaptive fitness is no joke, and you guys can kick any of our asses any of the day of the week. It's
Yeah,
and
Sarah's a monster.
oh
She's
my gosh, yeah,
yeah.
she'll put you in your place quick, right?
Leg on or leg off. She's a monster, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So no, I mean that's so cool. You guys got to go there and show that. How was it? How did you see it being received to the Marines? You guys being there and putting that workout on.
I think they liked it. I think they enjoyed it. It was the energy that they had from it was pretty good. It felt like I was back in how like training and shit, because like they gave it their all. They 100% gave it their all, and like some of them puked, some of them were just dying. It was that to see them just give it their all and actually have an open mind to this shit.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was cool.
That's awesome. That's so awesome. Matt, I want to talk to you about Catchlift, and I know, we've touched on it a little bit, but, how would you say Catchlift has played a role in your recovery?
Huge role. I mean, I would never became a coach if I didn't go to the Westport one. That Westport Cal workout weekend, Warrior weekend we had. Just the energy from the Westport people and Cal alone, it was just out of this world pretty much. And that's what gave me that drive to want to help other in my situation.
Yeah.
And that pushed me to get my certification, everything. And I'm fucking killing it. I'll tell you that. You know what I'm saying? I was out there. It was fun. But definitely Catchlift played a huge role in me in the whole recovery and everything. Just for like I said, it's like it helped me lose weight, but Cal helped me with my mental health more than anything, just to get me more sociable and just get me back in the world instead of just isolated.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's something that so many of us Cal veteran athletes, we understand, and, we've had that similar experience. So talking about Westport, that was the first time I had the pleasure of meeting you, was 2 years ago at that Warrior weekend in Connecticut in November. How has that community aspect of Cal, aided in your recovery?
They're still around. They're still aiding.
Yeah.
It's like, as soon like, even if you don't meet them in person, like you talk to Lynn, you talk to any of the coaches, it's like they're there for you. The community, it's not one that comes and goes. It's one that stays there and stays strong. It's just the whole community alone is a giant support system. Not taken away from the coaches, but just the community, from everybody talking to each other, reaching
absolutely.
out. It's different from any other, community out there. It's fucking crazy. It's pretty crazy. And it gives motivation where it needs. And half of these people in there, they blow my mind. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, okay. So that definitely a huge part.
Yeah. It's an incredible part for sure. Matt, what does it mean to you to be a Catchlift athlete and coach?
I'm badass. I don't know. It's like just to be a Cal athlete. It's like you're doing something with yourself, pretty much. You're not giving into the dark shit that like every veteran that comes out falls into. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you're a Cal athlete, you're actually pushing yourself to become better, to pretty much do better for others too. It's definitely a huge title, but that's how it is for me, at least. It just makes me feel not like this shit.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I totally agree. So Matt, you're an adaptive fitness coach too. How is the experience of working with other adaptive athletes, aided in your recovery, or, brought, something positive in your life? How has being an adaptive fitness coach done that for you?
Just pretty much helping others. I mean, I feel in my recovery, I'm at where I need to be. That's me. So I'm trying to help the others that aren't there just yet, that need that extra oomph, or that little push. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But as for me, as for my recovery, it's a good feeling to pretty much try to help others. And like some of them, just, they say that shit. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, all right. Like Lynn comes and tells me like, oh yeah, they told me they talked to you and it just changed them. I was like, oh, all right, run it, let's go. So it's like,
I've had so many veterans, Matt, that have told me that about you from, when we were doing interviews and such. I mean, that's absolutely, absolutely true. You've made a tremendous impact on so many of our veterans, and
that's awesome for me, just because it's all, if I can help people, if just help them get out of that slump, because nobody deserves to be in that slump.
Yeah.
Nobody needs to be down all the goddamn time. It's not healthy. It's not right. And if I can, help brighten up your day, or do some, I'm all about it. And count me in.
Yeah. Matt, we've got a question here from Joe D, who's listening. And he wants to know how you found Cal and what really it was that motivated you to take the step and join.
How I found Cal was Jason Smith.
Jason Smith.
Jason Smith. He pretty much, I think Catchlift sent him, I don't remember what kind of equipment y'all sent him, but sent him something, and he like put a little bug in my ear. But then after he called me fat, and then he's like, hey, let's go on this trip. And then I got smoked in boxing and all sorts of shit. That's what motivated me to apply and get everything in order, pretty much.
Yeah. I know that Westport weekend has made, such a difference in so many people's lives. That was my first real kind of Cal experience too, was it's like 3 or 4 years ago, going to Westport and, seeing that community, seeing what Cal offers. I mean, it changes your life. It definitely does.
Really does.
Yeah. Matt, so there's a lot of people, and I think a lot of us that are in Catchlift have gone through this where, we knew about them. We knew about Catchlift for a while, but it was just like, we couldn't commit at the time. We couldn't kind of pull ourselves out of a dark spot or whatever it may be. What would you say to any veterans listening that, like they're curious, they know they need or want more out of their lives fitness wise, but they feel like they're not right. I mean, what do you say to them, to get them pushed over that hump?
Catchlift is one without strings attached. All right. All you got to do is just put in the effort to knock shit out. That's all you got to do. As long as you show that you're, putting the effort to better yourself, Catch is going to stand behind you. It's everyone that I talk to is hesitant to sign up for Catchlift because there's all these organizations out there that's trying to get something out of you. Pretty much.
Yeah.
They'll either use you as a gimmick or who the fuck knows,
Yeah.
But Catchlift, nothing like that, man. It's just that it's one of the communities and like the organizations where they care about you. They'll always care about you, and you're not just the number to them. You're an actual human being,
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what's stopping you from really signing up? Really, it's like you come in, you put in the work, you lose weight. It's like meet some good people. It's like, shit, what's wrong with it?
Heck yeah.
Everyone has their own opinion, but for me, I know my first, like when Jason got that equipment, he's like, "Oh, you should sign up." And I was like, probably just another organization trying to use the triple card,
Yeah.
But and then they flew my ass out to Westport, and it was a wrap. It was a wrap after that. So
yeah. So Matt, I got one more question I got to ask you here, because we always ask you about it when we see you in person and when people see us. So the beard, how do you keep the beard so fresh and looking so good? Because that sucker, you've doubled it since I met you a couple of years ago.
Gross. I don't know this area. Just put oil in it and that's it.
Oil's
I'm
the
a chia
key.
pet. I'm a Mexican chia pet right now.
That's awesome. Matt, for anybody that wants to connect with you, tell them where they can find you on Instagram or anywhere.
Yeah, Six Finger Guru all over the place. Look me up. I'm there.
Heck yeah. Check that out. And you can see all kinds of videos of Matt just being a beast and slaying it.
Hooked up.
Heck yeah. Matt, first of all, thank you so much for your service to our great country. And thank you even more for continuing to give back to our tremendous veteran community. It's because of veterans like you that, it helps push us all forward and, give the next brother or sister hope. So thank you for all that you've done for our country and all that you continue to do. Truly.
Shit, I signed up to do. Hey, they don't even thank me.
No, we appreciate you very, very much. That's it for this week's episode of Catchlift Coach's Corner. We will return next week at 1 Eastern with another episode. Thank you again, Matt, for sharing your light and your story with us today. Big thank you to ID Technology for your continued support of Catch-A-Lift, the Landing Zone, Coach's Corner, and the website. Thank you to Lynn Coughlin, Henry Pomper, Kaylee Nasiri for making this podcast possible. And thank you to the entire CAL team. If there are any veteran members that would like to hop on and talk some more with Matt after this show, just leave your name in the chat box and we will get you guys a link sent over to join us. Until next week, keep it real and stay CAL strong.